Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. Today I have a project featuring some fabulous Mint Owl Studio products, and I'm going to create this really fun, clean and simple one-layer card using my Prismacolors on colored cardstock. So to get started, I have some Audrey Blue cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and I am using this fabulous new set from the July release from Mint Owl Studio. This set is really cool. It is features all kinds of really awesome sentiments and that really big happy word, and then all these little small sentiments that go along with it. So it's really handy to have in your collection because who doesn't need like a happy birthday, a happy grandparents' day, happy Mother's Day, happy everything like every now and again. So to start, as you can see, I've already trimmed the Audrey Blue cardstock down to the size of two top folding A2 card bases. And I am just going to start by heat embossing this giant happy word on there with some white embossing powder. So I am just doing all of my heat embossing at once because I have all my stuff out. So I have a little scrap of black cardstock here, and I am taking a couple of those smaller sentiments that come with the set, and I am going to heat emboss those on the black cardstock, also in white. So I chose to go with the You Make Me Happy, and then also after much deliberation here, I went with just be happy. So that is how great this particular stamp set is you can just do so many different combinations. You can put words after happy, before happy. It's super fabulous. So now that I have heat embossed everything, I went ahead and hit all that with my heat tool off camera. I am going to do a little bit of stamping. So I have this Love for Mom stamp set that is also from Mint Owl Studio that came out a little while back. And I am using this really pretty daisy from that stamp set. And I just masked off. I kind of want this to look like it's only half the card is pattern paper, kind of. So I just used some Post-it tape to mask off the top, and I'm kind of went partially down that happy word. I want the tails in the flowers, but nothing else. And I am using some white pigment ink. This happens to be from Simon Says Stamp, but you could use any white pigment ink that you have. And I am stamping those daisies right below that Post-it tape. So by using the white pigment ink, I've created some really light impressions that's essentially going to create like a no line coloring look when I'm all done here. So you could totally just leave, I think it'd be pretty to do a whole background just with the white pigment ink and just kind of leave it like that. I think it's super subtle. I think if you went with even a darker cardstock, you'd get a really pretty contrast and it would just be super cute. But I decided to color these little daisies in. So I am using 2 colors of Prismacolor pencils. That's it, just 2. So as you can see, I'm using my white and I'm coloring all the petals in with white, and I just love how that outline just kind of disappears into the white coloring. So you totally can't even tell it's there anymore. They're almost exactly the same shade of white. I love how this white pops against that colored cardstock. Prismacolors are waxed based, so they have a pretty opaque, heavy finish. I'm not doing any special shading or anything. I'm literally just coloring these flowers. I just want it to be pattern paper. I feel like I have done a lot of super complicated like shaker cards and stuff, and I just really wanted to get like back to card making basics and do something nice and clean, really simple and yet summery and pretty. So this card just totally fit the bill. So this is the Deco Yellow Prismacolor, and I just used it to go ahead and fill in the centers on those flowers. So you do kind of lose some of the cross hatching detail in the stamp, but I was totally okay with that because again, I just want it to look like pattern paper. I just want it to be nice and subtle. I just love the way that that looks against that Audrey Blue cardstock. I think it's so pretty. So now what I'm doing is I'm coming in with my Copic multiliner and I'm adding some dash lines at the top of those daisies just to kind of make it look a little bit more distinct from where the pattern ends and the plain cardstock begins. I also am wanting to tie in some black because if you'll recall from the beginning, I heat embossed the rest of my sentiment on black cardstock. So this is where I'm going to tie in some black. So I originally started with some black ink smushed on my pad, but I didn't like that. So I went ahead and went with some black soot distress paint. And then I dipped my paintbrush in there. I made sure to cover up the rest of my card because I only wanted splatters in the bottom in the pattern part. And I just flicked some black paint splatters over those daisies. And I think that that was just enough to tie in the black so that when I put the little sentiment strips on later, it doesn't look awkward that like, oh my gosh, why is there just like a black chunk in the middle of my pretty bright summertime card? So that was kind of why I did that. So I just trimmed these down to be really nice thin strips, and then I just trimmed out right around them. So again, nice and simple. It's kind of the name of the game with this card here. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop those up on the cards. So I'm just using a little bit of foam tape on the back, a little teeny tiny bit on that B. And I decided I wanted to stick that right before the happy there. I tried to change my mind, but it was too late. I was committed. So I went with it. And then this one is just You Make Me right over the top of that happy. I think they are so super cute. Like, I just love kind of the black contrast on, again, this Audrey blue cardstock is like one of my favorites. This color I think is just phenomenal. So I just really love the way that anything looks on it, but I've never really used it as a card base, so I was super excited. So I threw on a couple of sparkling clear Pretty Pink Posh sequins, just a few, just to add a little bit of bling to the front. And then I just took my corner chomper and I did some 1/2 inch quarter rounding on just the bottom 2 corners. So these cards are done. So it was just that easy. It took me less than an hour to make both of them. Just some really fun, relaxing, clean and simple card making. I love the splatters. I think those black splatters look super cute. And that sentiment stamp set from Mint Owl Studio is a must. You guys, this July release was phenomenal. You've got to go check it out. So check out the description box below. I'm going to link over to Mint Owl Studio. I'm going to link to all the supplies that I've used, as well as back to my social media and such if you'd like to follow me there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.